Hello beautiful and welcome back to my channel and welcome to this video that I have been planning and plotting for a really long time, and I'm so excited to be filming a full face of makeup that other people hate. Other beauty creators, other beauty YouTubers, other beauty gurus hate products, regret products, worst of the worst. I have been scouring the internet trying to find products that other people hate. Most of these products I fished out of my own collection and I actually like most of them. So we're gonna chat about how come some people hate some products versus other people loving the same product. What can be the reason why people could so wildly disagree about products with someone's holy grail and it's someone's like worst of the worst absolute fail. I also have 3 new products here that I have picked up that I'm hoping I'll be able to get them to work for me. I'm just curious about these products and we'll talk about them once we get there. But if you haven't been here before, if this is your first video here, don't forget to subscribe because I do a lot of videos every week all about makeup and beauty, trying stuff, finding new favorites, finding new fails, and definitely doing a lot of colorful things. So I came prepared with notes. A bitch has got notes, and I am gonna actually I'm not so much here to review stuff as I am to just be telling you how I feel about these things, and I'm gonna do first impression of some things. And I came, like I said, with notes. This is a primer that I'm gonna be using, and this one is from Danessa Myricks, and I know that both my friend Allie Dawson and my friend Heather Austin hate this product. Like, they really dislike it. I have it in a colored version. I have it in number 3, whatever that means. And I use this as either a primer. How am I gonna use this? I'm just gonna do a little bit like this because I'm gonna use it as a primer today. It's a very balmy texture. And this is meant to be a product that contains Absolite, which is a Swedish invention that absorbs oils more than any other product on the market, like in cosmetic products. So this one is perfect for having as a primer if you have oily skin. But both Heather and Allie hate it, and they both have oily skin. I have more of combo skin. I don't get oily all over, but I definitely get more oily in this part of the country now that I'm living in Austin compared to living in Sweden. In Sweden I definitely have normal skin. Here I have more combo skin, and I'm just putting it where I get oily, which is my T-zone. I use this sometimes on its own as well as like a tinted moisturizer primer kind of a deal, and for me this works really good. But this only shows that sometimes, even though you're living in a similar climate, because they also live in humid climates, and even though you have a similar skin type, we have similar skin types, we're in a similar age bracket, we're all in our 30s, they still might not work out the same because you have different preferences, or you use different techniques, or you're just expecting different results. Like, what do you want from a product, for example? So for me, I think that this product works out great for me. I really enjoy it, but I'm not saying that just because I enjoy it and others do not, that I'm correct and they're incorrect. Okay, I had to try this. I've seen so many people talk about this, so I had to get the foundation. This is the Jones Rhodes What the Foundation, the WTF foundation, and this one I got it in beige, and I haven't tried this one, I haven't swatched this one, I haven't done anything with this, but this one is a hate product, or the worst product of Tati, Jen Loves, and Teresa is Dead. And I trust their opinions when they say that they don't like this one. I have also seen people that do like this one, and I did read up a little bit about this, because here's my thing. When it comes to makeup, I don't think that makeup should have to come with instructions. I think this is a glass jar. I think that if your product comes with very specific instructions on how you have to use it to make it work, I think maybe your product needs to be a little bit more accessible. I think the only place where instructions might be handy is with foundations, because there are so many ways to apply foundation. There are so many ways where foundation can go wrong if you mix the wrong ingredients. And honestly, I don't know about this primer. I didn't even read up. I'm guessing this one could be like a silicone one. I'm not 100%. I haven't checked the ingredients. But yeah, this one is water and oil, so it does separate a little bit from what I've seen in pictures. That smell. That is potpourri. That is my grandmother's potpourri right there. And yeah, mine has separated a little bit. I don't know if you can see the oil at the bottom. I'm gonna have to put it together. That dried up flowers and just soap is not my journey. I'm just gonna take one of my brushes and I'm gonna blend this together because of the oils. And this is the thing, do you need to do this? I don't think you should have to do this, but I also think that if this gives the most amazing look on your skin, why not? Could this be a good color? I don't have any tan right now. I was hoping to be able to be by the pool, but if you live in Texas, you know that the weather we've been having lately has not been like pool weather. It is meant to be your skin but better kind of a finish, and it says that you can use your fingers, your sponge, or a brush. So I'm just gonna go in with a sponge. I will say, just blending it out like this, it has a little tack to it, which reminds me a little bit of that new foundation from Juvia's Place, and I do really like that one. I prefer, even though that one smells a lot too, at least it doesn't smell like potpourri. It smells like, I think it's like watermelon oil in it or something, watermelon essence. I don't remember what it was, but it's like, I think it's something watermelon. I don't know if you can hear, but it's very tacky. And yeah, that's definitely a light coverage. I mean, you can see some of my discoloration through here. You can definitely see my beauty spots. Usually when I do something that is a light coverage, I tend to go in with a freckle pen and I just dot my beauty spots back on because I think it looks more natural like that. And I might end up doing that today as well because I am going to be wearing this, of course, throughout the day. And I will put a pinned comment down below telling you how I think that this makeup wore, because I'm interested in this foundation. Just the way it looks right now, it looks like a tinted moisturizer. That's about it. It smells atrocious though. Ugh. Should we go in a little bit? Let's go in. I was really sitting far away for no reason whatsoever. I think this is a nice light coverage. It definitely is tacky. I'm definitely going to be setting it. The problem though, oh my god, this is looking a little suspicious. Okay, the problem with the powder that I'm going to be using though, I'm going to be using this one in a bit. This is the House Labs powder. This one isn't a mattifying and it isn't really a great just setting, locking in, elongating your makeup. This powder is mentioned to be a blurring and smoothing powder. So if you have dry skin, you might really love this powder. But if you have more combo oily skin, this one isn't gonna do it for you. And I am fairly sure, because I watched Too Much Mouth, she was talking about this powder, and why she didn't love it is the exact same reasons why I don't reach for this. It doesn't mattify or elongate your makeup. So I don't know how much this is going to do for this makeup, but let's do concealer first, because this is the second product that I am going to be trying out, and this is from Say. This is the Hydra Beam Sheer Brightening Under Eye Concealer. And I have seen quite a few people not liking this. I know my friend Samantha March didn't like this, and me and Samantha March have very similar under eyes, where we are having problems with like texture and fine lines and wrinkles under our eyes, and we want something that is thin and flexible and doesn't crease and doesn't move. I've heard that this one, Teresa described this as being as dry as Shape Tape while at the same time not providing any kind of coverage. So that doesn't bode well, but I will say, I bought this at Sephora Say. Listen, if I can get 20% off something that I don't think I'm gonna love, I'm going for it. I will say, and I have like a low coverage, this color is not, that's a very dark color. I probably bought like a summer color. I like a light coverage concealer when I'm having a light coverage foundation, because I don't like having a fully blocked out under eye and then seeing imperfections on the rest of my face. I sometimes prefer when a little bit of my dark circles almost like peek through and just makes it look more natural. Just as like getting some imperfections to peek through your foundation also makes it look a little bit more natural. This isn't my color at all, but I mean, this is going to be great for the summertime if I like it. If I don't like it, it doesn't really matter now, does it? I'm going to use a sponge with this one too. It's definitely not a sheer coverage. I would say that it's like a light medium coverage. I think it covers a little bit. If you have a lot of, yeah, you can see here, if you have a lot of dark under eye circles, I mean, this might not be enough, but if you don't, this might be enough. We're gonna see how I feel about drying though, of course, because nobody likes a drying concealer, but I will say I prefer a concealer that's a little bit more on the drier side over having a concealer that's a little bit too emollient. Because if a concealer is too emollient, I'm gonna have to use a bunch of powder to set it, and then my under eyes are just gonna look like turtle skin. Nobody wants that. I am actually going to be using my normal under eye powder. I use the CoverGirl Advanced Radiance pressed powder, and you can see the pan of this one shows you how much I'm loving it. And the reason why I'm going to use this one is because I know if the concealer acts up, I know it's not the powder. I know it's the concealer. So I think that's why I'm going to be using this one instead. And then I'll be using that House Labs powder on the rest of my face. And this one is also a little brightening, which I might need with this shade. I don't think that that looks horrible. This actually looks the way that I want a concealer to look when I'm wearing a light coverage foundation, which is that you can peek a little bit of the dark circles through, which makes it look a little bit more quote-unquote believable. Let me actually do my brows and let's give the foundation a minute to set in, because I'm not gambling with my brows. Listen, I'm having a hard time as it is with these brows. I'm gonna do my brows, and then I have a cream bronzer and a cream blush as well. So we'll do those first before the powder. Let's give them a fair shot. Okay, spoiler alert, or maybe not a spoiler alert. Maybe this is a stab in broad daylight. This foundation is sticky, tacky. It is fly paper. There is no way that I would be comfortable wearing this without setting it. Like, my dog's hairs will stick to it, my cat's hairs will stick to it, flies will stick to it. No, absolutely not. But I am gonna be using some cream bronzer first, and this is the Colourpop cream bronzer in I'll Bet. This is the Super Shock bronzer. Oh, is that a little pan? Because I love this one. I think I mentioned this in my yearly favorites. I think this one is great. It is creamy without being smeary or like too emollient. I wonder how it's gonna work with this foundation though. I use it with a brush, and I just get it on my brush and I just tap it in where I want it. This is a little bit, it is not like a Super Shock formula, but it's definitely a cream that dries down to a powder. And this is what I use when I want a cream product, but I want it to be a little bit more subtle. You can see it's just giving me some bronze, and I just want to have this kind of a formula. It is not that super emollient, just melts between your fingers kind of a formula. And Nomad Beauty said that she didn't like this formula at all. And I can totally see why someone wouldn't like this formula because of it not being super emollient. But if you are like me, someone where cream product sometimes isn't the best for your combo skin, I feel like this one really holds up and makes it easy to work with. Even when you're having stuff that's especially like these kind of more glossy, glowy foundations, I just really like this formula. I think it looks beautiful on the skin. I think it holds up, but I can totally see why it's not everyone's favorite formula. It is not, even though this is a Super Shock bronzer, I wouldn't say that this is the same formula as a Super Shock. They definitely changed the formula a little bit to fit as a bronzer, and yeah, I like it, but I can totally see why it's not for everyone. Good thing though is that it's Colourpop, so it is fairly affordable in the grand scheme of things. So if you end up not loving it, at least you didn't spend like Jones Road or House Labs prices on it. I am so intrigued to be trying this one out because first when I heard about this from Kaki. Kaki loves reviews, Kaki loves makeup. I can't seem to remember what her channel is called. And this is from Simi Haze. So this is the Simi Haze blush duo in Solar Tint, or Solar Tint Blush Duo. Yeah, it's Solar Tint Blush Duo, and this is in Canyon. And I'm sorry, hate this packaging. This puck, it feels rough. It feels rough and it's very heavy. I like the magnet on it though. I don't like this texture. It's like somewhere in between matte and it's not a polished matte. It's like a industrial matte in a way where you didn't think it would make it into retail. It's like it's not done. It's like it's not done. That's how it feels. But this is what it looks like. And this is a cream duo. And Kaki really didn't like this one. She thought it was like nothing special at all. And I will say she also had in her like yearly fails, because this is where I found this one. She also had the My Dream Face Palette by Natasha Denona, which I love. I love that one. I think it's so beautiful. So I thought if she hates that one and she also hates this one, okay, so one is more of a like a cream, you can see, like a cream that's more matte, and one that's a cream that's more emollient, glossy. Maybe I will like this one, because we seem to disagree on some things. If you didn't know, I like applying my cream blushes with my finger. Because especially when they're in a compact like this, because I don't like having a lot of blush on, and my worst nightmare is having blush that's like too big of a splotch. I like how that one looks. It reminds me a little bit of the Super Shock in formulation. It's like a stiffer, like non-glossy cream formula that I'm definitely thinking will dry down. Let's use a little bit of the glossy on top and see how it looks. Oh, you definitely get more more pigmentation with that one. Yeah, well, that one looks a little bit more glossy. I think for me, would probably prefer the other one more, but of course, for the sake of the video, I have to use both of them. If you also think that sometimes blush just gets a little bit out of hand, try using your fingers as well when you're using a cream product, or use a smaller blush brush. I will say the heavens opened and just my mind was blown when I for the first time applied blush with a really small brush. Like sometimes even what people say is a highlighter brush for them, I use that for blush, and I have just been loving my blush application so much more since then. Okay, I need to clean my fingers, but I think that looks great. I need to do some powder now because I'm sticky. Let me grab a little powder brush and apply some of this powder. And so here's what I think about this blush thing. I think that this looks nice. It looks like a nice cream blusher. Do I need two cream blushes in a duo that's the same color? They're the same color. The only difference is that one of them has a glossy finish and one of them doesn't. No, because I think that the person that likes the glossy finish probably won't like the matte finish. So I think that, like, for me, for example, oh my god, I probably will never use this glossy formula ever again, because that's not for me. That's not the kind of makeup that I go for. I think it would have been better if they just stuck to one formula and did one with maybe a sheen in it, or one that was like a little lighter than the other, so you can do some draping or like some ombre effect. I just think that they missed the mark a little bit on like the easiest way to use your products when it's something that is as expensive as this one, because this isn't cheap and it's just the same blush in two different formulas, and most people are just gonna end up liking one but not the other. So yeah. Is this a product that I'm going to be using a lot? Is it a product that I'm going to be recommending and like loving? Probably not. I'm just powdering down this a little bit because it's still tacky. This foundation, it's glue. And also, like I said before, this powder isn't really mattifying and it isn't really super setting your makeup. It's just meant to blur your face, and I do think it does that. It does blur your face, but I prefer a powder that just sets my makeup down, mattifies it a little bit, because I will say this one won't last on me. I know that. So I know that in 3 hours, I'm gonna have to go over my face again with a more mattifying powder. That's just the name of the game with this powder, and that's the reason why I don't use it a lot, because it doesn't serve a purpose in my collection. Let me actually put my beauty marks back on. Oh my god, that one went a little bananas. I usually put them back on, and then I just powder a little bit on top as well, so they don't look this. There we go. Okay, let's finish with highlighter, and this is a highlighter that I also have said that I don't love. And this is the Flower Beauty Spotlight Liquid Highlighter. And I don't hate this one, but it's definitely not that effortless, very easy to work with kind of a glow. This one comes with an actual poof. Not all drugstore poofy makeup has a poof, and one of those open and closure. Same here, not all drugstore makeup has that. And you like, you get some up, I think. Hello? There it is. There is a little bit here. And then you just dot it on where you want it, and I'm gonna use my sponge and you just dot it in. This product, both Kathleen Lights and Rachel Palmiero mentioned this one as a product they really don't like. And I remember that the reason why Rachel Palmiero didn't like it is because she says it's more of a metallic eyeshadow than it is in like an effortless melt into your skin highlighter, and I agree. It is very visible. It is nowhere near that liquid highlighter blend into your skin transparent base that other brands is giving. It is not that at all. It's very visible. It's very metallic, and I agree that there are definitely formulas out there that is doing this a lot better than Flower Beauty. Just doesn't blend as effortlessly, and it just looks, yeah, like you've been trying to put a liquid like eyeshadow on your cheeks, and I think it looks better on camera than it does in real life. It looks a little visible, I don't want to say rough, but it's definitely not my favorite product. It's still in my collection because I am actually filming, and I think I already filmed that, Battle of the Poofy Makeup. I have it here next to me. Like all of these poofy makeups, I did a video basically talking about why these aren't dupes. And why these like are not all poofy makeup is created equal. That video is already live on my channel in case you're interested, because I definitely have thoughts about this concept and I think people are going bonkers. Okay, let's do a little lip liner, and this is from Give Beauty. And this is the lip liner that is meant to be an overlining lip pencil. It's meant to be contouring your lips. So you have a little brush here, and mine is already spraying a little bit, but here's the thing. I don't know why they give you a brush, because this formula, oh, you can see the wax blooming on this one. Yeah, this one is, oh my god, and it broke off. This formula is dry. This formula is very dry and very crumbly, and it's like, it's okay, but it's such, is it okay? No, it is dry, and you can see the wax blooming on it, and it's a fairly new product. I think that giving a brush with a product that is desert dry is just a joke. Like, where are you going with that brush? You're not brushing this out. Absolutely not. They could have put it like a Q-tip at the end here. Like that maybe then. But like, this isn't a creamy product. It's not easy to use. And as you can see, it crumbled off. Like, it is dry. It's dry. Should I get rid of this one? Did I get a dog hair? It's rough out here. The next product, I actually had to fish this product. So I have this product in 2 different shades. I had to fish it out of 2 different purses because I love this product and I carry it around at all times. And that is the Too Faced Hangover Pillow Balm. And I have it in banana and I have it in, I think it's chocolate or cocoa kiss. This has actually been mentioned as a product that 2 of my friends don't like, and it is Laura May Beauty and it is Karen Harris. And Laura May Beauty basically said that she didn't like this. I think it was mainly because of the scent. The Cocoa Kiss has almost, and I have described this as almost like a chocolate liqueur candy. It almost smells a little, almost like a fruity, like boozy smell. So I don't know why they did this and didn't just blend the cocoa with vanilla. It would have made so much more sense, because yeah, the smell of this one, it just isn't what they say it is. And I know that the reason Karen didn't like it is because this gives a little bit of a milkiness to the lips, and she didn't like that on her lips, but I love that on my lips. And I love how these feel. I do prefer the banana scent. This is the perfect for me thing to carry around in my purse and reapply throughout the day. They have a little bit of a cooling feeling to them, and they just feel nourishing and comfortable on the lips. I like how they look. I love the little milkiness that they give, and I do agree that this Cocoa Kiss, this smell definitely isn't the best, but the banana one is wonderful. It smells like banana, like candy, you know, that like foamy banana candy. What do you call them? Like the banana, you know what I'm talking about, banana candy. I love these. I mean, I have 2. I carry them around in my purse. again, this is definitely one of those where it's like, oh, I'm so sad you don't love them, because I love them, but we can't all agree about everything. I did put on some of my favorite eye primer, which is the Sigma primer stick that I am out of. I had to dig some out of there. But I did saw that Jen Loves Reviews mention the Colourpop eye primer as like a disappointing product, and I'm not using that one because I absolutely despise it. So I do agree with Jen that that is not a good eye primer at all, and I'm not using that. I think it is smeary, and it just doesn't, according to me, do anything for like making your eyeshadows last longer or pop better, or just I don't like it at all. But I do have 2 eyeshadow palettes that we're going to be using, and these are 2 palettes that I have mentioned as I think these are good palettes. And I know that this one, the Anastasia Beverly Hills Nouveau palette, I know that Steph's Beauty Stash mentioned this palette as a fail for her because she didn't think the quality of this one was what she was expecting, and I do think the quality of this one is great. I think all of these shadows perform beautifully. I think they are gorgeous on the eyes. I have recommended this palette in like a Sephora sale, and I still think that this is one of the palettes available right now at Sephora that I would recommend getting if you like this color story, of course. It is a little bit more on the muted side. And then I know that Annette from Annette's Makeup Corner mentioned this one as a fail, and I think her main focus on that was the color selection, that she didn't think that any of these shades were dark enough for her, and she also thought, I can't remember, she was these 2 she thought was a little bit too similar, and that is exactly what I said as well. But I wouldn't say that I think that this palette is a fail because of that, because there are people out there that don't love a dark shade, and I definitely can make this shade look darker on me. But I remember saying that I was wishing that this shade was an even darker matte. And yeah, that would have been perfect for me as well, but I still think the quality of this palette is beautiful, and I still like the palette. It's just a difference of opinions of like what makes a palette a fail versus not. But I think what I'm gonna do today is that I'm gonna use Muse, which is more of a, I don't want to say satin, because I don't think necessarily that it's like a satin, but it is a little bit more. Let me see if I can bring this one out. I'm going to use the Cinch EO4. It is a little bit more of a traditional, it is a little bit more, or maybe it's more of a satin, but I'm going to use this one, and I am going to put a matte on top of this to make it look darker than it is. That's always a good tip, and I know that I've said that to you before as well, that don't forget that you can layer a matte on top of a shimmer if you'd feel like the matte needs a little bit more oomph. Because usually shimmers have a little bit of emollients to them that also makes the mattes just stick better. So yeah, I'm just applying a little bit of this in the outer corner, and then we're putting the matte on top. I will say that this situation became a little bit more intense than I thought. I'm gonna be using this one, the Grind shade that I talked about before, and I am gonna just put that on top because I want this to be this kind of a color, and I'm just gonna put this on top and blend out the edge. I'm also gonna be putting this in here. You can see it becomes way more brighter out here. And I'm just pushing this on to make this brown seem a little bit more on the reddish side over the brownish side. I think I'm gonna use this shadow under my eyes too. I mean, obviously this look turned out way more aggressive than I was thinking. Do I love it? Not really, but it's okay because it's me and it's not the eyeshadows. So this look turned out way more aggressive than I had in mind, but it's okay. We're doing Instagram makeup today. Is this what I had in mind? No, but I'm here. We're committing. I want to do this one. It's Impulsive Impulse, and it is a pink peachy gold duochrome, and I am definitely gonna put that. I'm gonna put it all over. Is this true? Maybe. And I am gonna do a matte in the corner because I love that. But yeah, I'm just gonna put this. Oh, so pretty with the pink with this. To just, I don't know, tone it down a little bit maybe. I'm gonna put it over here. That is pretty. I do like that. Is this a little bit too intense? Yes. Maybe I'll do a liner. Like, that's gonna make it less intense. We're gonna talk about one last thing. I did put a bit of a light in my inner corners, and I did do a wing because honestly, this situation, it's a little bit of a mess, but we're not gonna deal with that because sometimes it's okay for things to not be perfect. I realize I could have done this better. I have done looks like this better, but it's still okay. It's still okay. It's only makeup. It's gonna wash off at the end of the day because I'm still gonna be wearing this throughout the day because it's fine. I think it's cute. I love a look like this. This is this is this true? Because I do love Prance a lot, but no, I think this is the most used eyeliner in my collection right now, and this is the Oden's Eye Solmåne Gel Liner number 11, which is in milk white. And Nomad Beauty did mention, you can see how disgusting my looks, mentioned that she didn't like these at all, and I can see why, because these are a little fragile. They do break, so you have to like only twist up a little bit, don't twist up too much. And some of them are straight up pigment right out of the gate, and some of them you have to work a little more. Like this one right now that had black on it, which did not help. But for me, when I have these on, they last all night. I love all day, all night, I should say. Oh my god, what was that song? All day, all night. Oh, it was it the Barcelona song? I can't remember now. But yeah, I love how these look on. I love how these wear. I've been using these colors a lot, but they do break a little bit. But I think as long as you can build them up without them being pokey or scratchy, or just, you know, some of them are just too dry and hard and just hurt your waterline. These do not. I run them a couple of times. I get a fully opaque color. It lasts on me for a really long time, and this white is great because you can truly build it up to a white, and I love a white waterline. It's just something that I really like. I mean, you can tell I like dramatic makeup, even though this makeup look is a little bit of a mess. Don't look at it too closely. Let's Monet this situation and zoom out a little bit. I'm gonna put on a half lash, and we can just have a final talk about this makeup. Oh, am I still sticky? I am. I mean, when it's all said and done, I really do like how everything came out. It's way more dramatic than I was thinking, and my blending isn't perfect, but that's my own fault. Like, I brought this upon myself. It is what it is. I will say my face is still sticky. If that is the foundation, or if that is the powder, or if that is a mix of the foundation and powder, nobody knows, but I will say, and this is just, oh my god, how many times have I said I will say? Do not take a shot every time I say that. This foundation, the way that it smells and the way that I can still, like, it lingers, I don't think this is going to be a favorite for me. I like, babe. Oh, little Kaisa. I like a light coverage foundation, but this being in a pot that you have to stir before you put it on, that is extremely sticky and tacky on the skin, that smells like potpourri. There are just too many obstacles in the way for this to be a favorite. I can jump through a little burning hoop, maybe like a sizzling, you know, there's a little ember left on the hoop. I can jump through one or two of those, but when it's a full-fledged circus with like 5 burning hoops for me to jump through to just get a foundation to work, there are so many other good foundations that I will use instead. I also will say this concealer has creased so much on me already. It even creased to the point that like my eyeshadow is in the creases. So I do have other light coverage or medium coverage concealers that I like more than this. I like the Squeezy Tube from Fenty. That is probably my favorite like light or medium coverage concealer. I also really love the Superstay from Maybelline. That one is marketed as being a full coverage, but it's not. It's a medium coverage, but it's very light and beautiful under the skin. Under the skin. No, don't put it under your skin. Nope, stop. Put that back, and put it under your eyes, okay? On top of the skin. Thank you very much. So I think I will be using those instead. When it comes to the Simi Haze one, I don't mind how it looks. It was a nice formula, but I think it's an unnecessary duo. I don't see a lot of people loving both formulas, and I don't know why you would need two of the identical. Like, I don't think I'm getting it. So maybe it's not meant for me. I don't hate it, but I don't think it's gonna be a favorite. Other than that, some of these things are things that I have mentioned as products that I really love, products that I really enjoy. Just interesting sometimes to talk about the difference in opinions and the difference in preferences, and also something that is super important when it comes to reviews, the difference in expectations. What do you expect this makeup to do for you? What is the expected result? What are you hoping to see at the end of the tunnel? Because for me, some people are hoping to have like really glowy, dewy, juicy skin. If I get that, I'm afraid. Straight to jail. We're not doing that. So also, like, I don't want to say manage your expectations, but at least look into your expectations. What are you hoping to see at the end of your makeup routine? I hope this video was somewhat helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. If nothing else, I will link the creators down below next to the products if you want to see which ones I've been talking about throughout this video. I love talking about different creators and linking different creators and just, you know, spreading the love a little bit. This is all about networking, and I hope you'll be able to find some new favorites as well. Hope you're having a great day, and I will see you again real soon in a new video. Bye!